All right, so I'm back. So now we're going to talk about the Q2 observation alignment, and specifically, we're going to focus today on connected to students' goals and future. Because if you can make, I guess if you try to make your lessons relevant and engaging, you can do that in isolation, but you can't really connect them to the goals if you don't know the goals that they have, right? So that's why we're going to spend time talking about the goal piece of students today. So this is a big one. Believe it or not, students have desires and things they want for themselves, and so do their families. So it's our job as educators to understand what those desires are and provide paths of opportunity that will allow them to successfully reach their destination. So how in the world do you get this information, and how do you make your lessons relevant to the data you've gathered? First is by understanding what a goal is. A goal is a desired result that a person or a system envisions, plans, and commits to achieve, okay? So now I want you to take a second and answer these questions for yourself. So grab a sheet of paper. That's your paper grabbing music. And answer these questions for yourselves. What is a personal goal for students in your class this year? What does a goal mean to you? What does reaching this goal mean for students? What will it require of you for your students to reach this goal? So like, what are you going to have to do? And what will it require of students to reach this goal? What are they going to have to do? Ultimately, how will you know students have met the goal you set for them? So take a few minutes and answer these questions. All right. I'm hoping that you did press pause to truly answer those questions for yourselves. One of the reasons that I want you to take a few minutes and answer those questions for you is because the same is true of students. You have goals for them, their parents have goals for them, and they have goals for themselves. But sometimes we have to help guide them in extracting the information from their head. Like, actually, what do you want for yourself? So that way we can incorporate that information into our lessons. That's how we make it culturally relevant. That's how we make it engaging. Also, I think it serves as a way to be able to help children, like hold them accountable even in their behavior. So for example, Kadarian Rollison shared with me that he wants to become an engineer. And he was misbehaving one day, and I just pulled him and I was like, Kadarian, you told me you wanted to become an engineer. I'm pretty sure engineers don't behave this way. And they didn't behave this way in the 6th grade. They were serious about math. They were serious about science. They were serious about, English and social studies because, they knew they were going to need that information long term. And it shifted the way he was behaving in the moment. So again, the more information you know of students, the more you're able to navigate some of those situations with ease. And so again, I want you to spend time getting clear on what you actually want for kids. And that may mean, I want 90% of my kids to show up, which is a goal that we all have. And I want 90% of my kids to pass their exit ticket data. And by passing this exit ticket data or this exit ticket, that means that my kids are going to be able to do X, Y, and Z. And that connects to their long-term goal because blank. Right? So get really clear on what you want for your students. Crystal, do you have anything you want to say right here? You can just press pause on me. All right, so let's keep moving forward. So why goals? The process of setting goals ultimately allows students to choose where they want to go in school and what they want to achieve. By knowing what they want to achieve, they know what they have to concentrate on and improve. So goal setting gives students long-term vision and short-term motivation. Like that, long-term vision, short-term motivation. So having sharp, clearly defined goals, which students can measure, will allow them to take pride in accomplishing those goals. They can see clear forward progress in what might have seemed a long, drawn-out process. So sometimes like they're sitting in our classes and they feel like, I don't know why you keep going over this because I don't care nothing about it. But if it's connected to their goal, they will actually be able to see like, okay, maybe I can't apply this today, but long term, I will be able to apply this. And believe it or not, sometimes that long-term motivation is the only motivation we need to keep us on track. So by setting goals, students can, number one, improve their academic performance, increase their motivation to achieve, increase pride and satisfaction in performance, improve their self-confidence, and let's be honest, who wouldn't want their students to become better believers in their academics? Hello. All right, so I'm going to show you a resource very quickly. Crystal and I created this resource way back in the day with some other teachers, and I just think it is a great tool for us to be able to use now. All right, so it's called Pathways of Opportunities, and I'm going to try to make it a little smaller so you can see it, but ultimately we will share this document with you. All right, so what you can see here, hopefully, is that this says my journey to success. You could even have kids bring in a picture, and they can put their picture in the middle here to remind themselves, like, this is the lifestyle ultimately that I want. So they're going to start here. It's a backwards plan design. So that means I need to think about, what career choice do I need to make? What type of career do I need to have in order to have this lifestyle that I'm ultimately trying to reach? What college do I need to go to in order to have that career so that I can have that lifestyle? What classes do I need to take in high school in order to go to that college, to get that career, to have that lifestyle? So what do I need to be doing in my class right now in middle school? What are my concrete goals? I would maybe ask students to put 3 things here, maybe around their academics, their behaviors, and then ultimately maybe just something personal that they are working on or striving towards. Those actions and behaviors and grades will be able to allow me to take these classes, to go to this college, so that I can have that career, so that I can live this lifestyle. So what do I need to do every day? I probably need to be paying attention. I need to stay focused. I don't need to be getting in fights. I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. I need to do this. I need to do that. It helps students think through specifically those actions in order to reach their goals, to go to that high school, to ultimately that college, to have that career, to have the lifestyle that they say that they want to have, or reach the goal that they say that they have for themselves. I would encourage you to fill this out prior to showing it to students, maybe with your own life. I think it could be just a great way for kids to be able to see, like, you actually do the work, and that even as adults, goal setting is something that they should continue to do. Okay? All right, let's go back and finish this up. So remember those things. All right, so now we're going to watch a quick video. And as you're watching the video, I want you to think about these 3 things. Number 1, how does this strategy serve as both a reflection tool and an action plan? Also, how, when, and where can you use be sure to statements with your students, and that your is spelled incorrectly. And notice how this reflection continues to push students towards deep understanding of their actions and the information they are planning. And this is my pink for Pink Out Day, but the pink on the TV is kind of fuchsia, so that's why I have the pink ribbons with the smiley face. All right, so let's go watch this video. All right, so wasn't that a great video? So I want you to really think about, what did Julie do to actually help her students think about, okay, how in the world are you going to use the goal that you have and think about what you should be sure to do. So how could this strategy serve as both a reflection tool and an action plan? Marika. Tiffany. And Miss Wright, you can just continue to popcorn around. Also think about how, when, and where can you use be sure to statements with your students. Specifically, I'm thinking that when we go over test strategies or when we're talking about our exit ticket data, we can think about some of those statements. And I hope that you noticed how this reflection continued to push students towards a deep understanding of their actions and the information they were learning. So I'm sure you heard that gentleman say, well, the text was saying this, and they repeated a lot of information. So we can be sure not to repeat our information when we're giving speeches. So students can actually see, okay, here's what I need to do differently. Here's how I can shift my actions and apply it when I take the next exam, or when we get ready to present our apprenticeships, or we are, having a classroom discussion. It gives them a tangible way to be able to think through the things that they can do in the moment in order to reach their goals. So I hope this is a quick way, maybe not as quick, but I hope this gives enough information on how to actually understand students' goals, know why those goals are important, and then how to help students hold themselves accountable to reaching those goals. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Have a great weekend. Be safe, and I'll see you Tuesday. But in the meantime, if you need me, feel free to give me a call. All right. Bye.